Hello everyone and welcome to another day of cooking. Today I'm gonna show you my own recipe for English breakfast. For this recipe we're gonna use half fresh potato to make hash browns from scratches, 3 eggs, a little bit of bacon, some leftover mushrooms, some tomatoes, a little bit of baked beans, a little bit of flour for the hash browns and 2 slices of bread. The English breakfast is very simple to make, but at the same time it's super delicious and it's filling you up in the best way possible. So there is not a single best way to start the day than with a good cup of tea and a classic English breakfast. So as a first step, I'm gonna take my bacon and just lay it in a tray. Now there are very many people that just fry the bacon in a pan, but I prefer to oven bake it. It's pretty much the same thing, but I like it better. So I'm just gonna lay my bacon. I'm just gonna take my tomatoes just whole, drop in the 3 mushrooms that, as you can see, are a bit old, but that's no big. I just find them at the bottom of my fridge. I will add just a little drizzle of oil on my vegetables, but not on the bacon, and a little pinch of salt. So once you drizzle them with olive oil and add salt, it's time to put them in the oven, and I'm probably gonna bake them for about 10 minutes or until they get nice and crispy. I have my oven right now on 220, and as I said, I'm just gonna leave them for about 10 minutes and just check them every now and then. Now the second step, I'm gonna take my potatoes, crack an egg inside, add a little bit of salt, a little drizzle of olive oil, and a little bit of flour. If you want to see the full recipe on how to make hash brown from scratches, make sure to check the video. And once you have your ingredients inside, with a fork, just start mixing it around. Now I know this might not be the classic way that you do a hash brown, but as I said at the beginning of the video, this is my way of doing the English breakfast, and I like my hash browns just like this. And once you have your base ready, it's time to fry them up. So I'm gonna switch on the fire and add just a knob of butter. I'm just gonna move the butter a little bit just to coat the whole pan. And before it gets super hot, I'm just gonna make a little nest with my spoon and just place it inside. Now when they get nice and crispy on one side, I'm just gonna flip them over. Oh, look at that. And when they get nice and crispy on both sides, I'm just gonna move them in a plate. Look at that. So in the same pan, I'm just gonna put one more knob of butter, place my bread, little more butter on top. Now obviously if you have a toaster, you can just simply toast your bread, but I don't have a toaster, so I just prefer to have it in a pan. Just move it around, let it cook, let it toast for about 30 seconds, and then you can flip it over. And when it gets toasted, just take it out. It usually takes around 30 seconds. So as you can see, this one over here is quite a big portion for one person, but I'm a big boy and I don't mind. Once the bread is out, I'm gonna add once again a little bit butter. Just move it around, have the fire on low, and just crack 2 eggs inside. Oh, that was a surprise. I guess it's my lucky day, so let's make sure not to crack them. Add a little bit of salt and a little pinch of black pepper, and just gently cook them. Jiggly. I like my eggs very runny, so this for me is cooked enough. Just gonna move it into the plate. In the same pan, I'm gonna go ahead and add my baked beans, just to warm them up a little bit. Give them a mix around, have them nice and hot. And back in a clean container. And now that all my fried stuff is ready, it's time to take out the baked stuff. Yeah, look at that. It's a bit hot, but I just have our tomatoes here, the bacon, which I myself like it medium cooked, not very crispy. Just mix it around a little bit. Add the mushrooms. And why not even a little bit of chives, just to give that touch of freshness and color. Just chop it very randomly, you don't need to have it fancy or anything. A bit on the baked beans and the rest on your eggs. And just like this, there we have our English breakfast for about to be... Oh, and almost forgot. You can't have an English breakfast without your Earl Grey. And just like this, with 15 minutes on hand, few simple ingredients, a very lucky egg and a good cup of tea, there we have our English breakfast for two. Or for a big boy like me. Enjoy!